When you get to your table, you're going to have your insect observational drawings from last class. If you weren't here or you want to do some different drawings, we have printouts of insects in your bin. So I have a caterpillar and a butterfly drawing. And I noticed that the caterpillar drawing is touching or almost touching two sides of my paper, which is good. But I see there's a lot of empty space in the background. And the butterfly is drawn really nicely, but there's a lot of empty space. So what you're going to need to do is think about the insect you really want to choose. And today you're going to have a tray of this grayish paper called newsprint. Say newsprint. Newsprint is a kind of thin paper that we're going to use to draw on, and whatever we end up choosing on these papers, we're going to get to make into a print, and I'll show you how in a few minutes. So if I can use one of my drawing pencils, or I can use a regular pencil. If I really wanted to do the butterfly, I would need to draw it again on this small newsprint paper, and I would need to zoom it in so that, let's pretend this is the newsprint paper, so that it's touching or almost touching the sides. So here I go. I see I have the body. I see some of the top wings are really big and the bottom wings are more rounded. And then I see there's all these interesting patterns. There's some kind of circle patterns and lots of lines. And I'm going to make sure to draw all those patterns. So if I finish drawing this, I could even look back in my packet. I'm not sure if this packet has the butterfly, but here's another one of a butterfly. And I could even look and see if there were any more details I could add to my drawing. So I noticed this butterfly has all these circles around the edges. Make sure to add a lot of the lines showing your details, so when we do the next part, you'll see it'll help your print really look good. So I could add the circles, I could add more details about how these shapes look. Whatever you want. Then you can make something for the background. So this shows it's on a flower. You could show that. You could make something up. So if I wanted to show that it was flying and that there was grass below, I could just add grass at the bottom or whatever you want, but don't leave a bunch of empty space. So maybe I would do this. Another thing is if you had a really great drawing, but there's no background. So again, this is already the right size. So let's just pretend I drew it again and did all the detail like I did on the butterfly. I could look in the packet for the picture to get clues of the background, or I could make up a background. So I see this caterpillar is on some sort of like leaf or branch or something. So I could add that. I see there's some other things in the background. So even if you're not sure what it is, it could just be like leaves coming out, or you could add things. So it's not so empty if your creature is more long and thin. And then of course I would go back and add all the details. Okay, so let's pretend we're done. After you've done your drawing, and let me see it, you are going to do another step. So I'm going to do the caterpillar. Just quickly add in some more of the details. You can even make a face on yours if you want. If you finish today, I'm going to give you something really special called a printmaking plate. Say printmaking plate. A printmaking plate is a piece of styrofoam, and it's very thin and very smooth. And what we're going to do is take our drawing and put it on top of the printmaking plate, and we're going to tape it on so it won't wiggle. I have some tape here. You can tear it, or I'll give you some scissors if it's too hard to tear. And you're going to need to tape it on places where there's no drawing. So there's no drawing right here. I'm going to wrap it around the back and hold it tight. There's no drawing in this spot. You can make sure it's smooth and flat, and try to get it so it's covering your printmaking plates. And then, if you want, you can tape it on the bottom and top. Probably a good idea. You might get this far today. If you just get this far, there's some Sharpie markers. Write your name and art code on the back, and that's fine. If you finish this early, your last step, you're going to look for a really sharp pencil, and you're going to trace over your lines very slowly and carefully. So I would press through over each line, and the paper will kind of tear a little bit, which is fine. So I would need to go over every single line really slowly and carefully, and you'll be able to tell which ones that you've gone over because they kind of look darker and also a little bit torn. And what will be happening is on the back, it will be transferring into the styrofoam, which will help us make a print next time. So I would go through and start tracing over my lines super slow and super careful. It's your turn to finish your drawings on the newsprint and maybe have time to tape it or start tracing onto your printing plate.